Welcome back, and if you're looking at my portfolio, you see that I had a down week, my biggest loss so far, down $55 this week. So we're going to discuss why that is, what's going on with the stock market, and what I think is going to happen. I'm also going to discuss two gifts that the stock market gave to me this week, which was really nice of it. Third, we're going to get into MPW, what it is and why I think it's going to be a good investment. So we'll drill down into MPW. And then lastly, we'll go over my goals and see if I hit my goals or missed anything. And you can probably guess which one I missed. All right, so let's get started. So what happened in the stock market this week? Well, it took a pretty big hit. I'll show you. If you're looking, looks like the Dow lost almost 700 points since February 1st. So it's taken a hit. Now, is this the beginning of a crash? I don't think so, and here's why. I pulled some of the dividend yields or bond yields from the U.S. Treasury, and I put them in a graph so that I could see if the yield curve is flattening or not. So this blue line here, that is January of 2017, and you see how steep that is? Then you come up to this yellow one, and that's June 2017. It's starting to flatten out a little bit. Or this camera's backwards. This is January 1st, and then this is today. So this top line's today. So you can see that it's starting to flatten out, but we're not there yet. And why am I talking about this? Well, if you research the yield curve, you'll start to learn about certain indicators and patterns that form in history. And when the yield curve kind of flattens, or if it goes inverted, then that's usually signs that we're about to enter a recession and a bear market. But we're not flat yet. So what's going on with this sell-off? I think it's just a dip. I think it's just a temporary correction. And I think it means it's probably a great time to buy, because I still think that there's some room for the stock market to go up. It's not the only indicator that you should be looking at. It's just one. But yeah, so I'm not afraid. So I'm looking at this as a buying opportunity, which brings me to, we'll talk about gift number one the stock market gave me first. So last week on the 29th, I think it was, I posted about GLW, and we were looking at that price point of $34. And I said I would buy there. I just wanted to wait for their earnings call to see what was going to happen. And the earnings call came out, and now the stock price is down to $31. So I didn't think the earnings call was that bad. I think this company still has massive room to grow. And if they're making all the glass for all the wearable tech, all of the reasons that I wanted to buy this company are still there. So nothing changed for me. The only thing that happened was the price, my entry point got cheaper. So now I'm going to pull the trigger on GLW. And I definitely learned my lesson from GameStop, because had I bought before the earnings call, I would have taken a loss immediately and had a more expensive entry point. So by waiting for the earnings call, I can now buy on that dip. So I'll be buying my Corning stock now. So that was my first gift. What was my second gift? I think I also spoke in my last video that I wanted to get rid of eBay, because I bought it for the wrong reasons, and it wasn't something that I truly picked. It was something that I bought from somebody else's advice, but it doesn't fit the criteria that I'm looking for, like a nice dividend. And so I wanted to get rid of it. And what was really sweet about that is that I'll show you in the app. Thanks to eBay, I took my first profit from the market. This was my first sell, and it was an 18% gain. So I'll show you. My market buy was January 2nd, and that was at 38.14. So I bought 2 shares at 38.14, and then I sold them on February 2nd at $44.98, almost $45. So it was about an 18% return, which I was ecstatic for it being my first sell to have an 18% return. I was very happy. So I'll just show you on. So I bought in about here, and then it started jumping, climbing. So on February 1st, because the price was climbing so rapidly, I wanted to lock in a profit. So I set a stop loss at $45. And I said, I'll be happy with that. If it keeps on climbing, I'll cancel my stop loss order and I'll raise it up. And I was just kind of chasing the price up with my stop loss. And sure enough, on, I believe, February 2nd, when everything else started to come down, it hit my stop loss at 45. So I didn't get full profit, but I'm not worried about that. I took an 18. If you go from, let's go over here. So from there to there, yeah, so it's about 17.7, or I think I calculated it out to be 18% profit. So I was able to get out of a stock that I didn't want to be in. I'm looking to get out of stocks so that I can add better ones to my portfolio. So that was a plus. I got out at the right time, so that was a plus. And I got a little bit more familiar with how to use the stop loss effectively. And now I'm going to start implementing that in the future if I'm trying to get rid of a stock. So that was the other gift. So between Corning going on sale and eBay skyrocketing and then letting me take a profit as I wanted to exit, I was very happy with this week. So did my portfolio take a hit overall? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure everybody's did, except for anybody that had anyone that was short selling or putting put options on things. So I'm okay with that. I'm a long-term investor. I'm not going to get upset about the daily swings or the weekly swings. All right, so what's the stock that I wanted to look at? Medical Properties Trust. And if you want to learn more about what this company does, you can go to this website and check them out. But why do I like this company so much? Well, I put in all the data to get the valuation, and MPW shot right to the top of my calculator. So I mean, it outperformed everything that I've looked at so far. So let's just go through it real quick. The price to book value is 1.22, which is great. The PE ratio was under 15, 12.32. So if you multiply the price to book times the PE, which you want below 22.5, it's sitting at 15. So you can't ask for better than that. The yield, 7.47%. I mean, that's huge. The 5-year average yield was 6.5, so the yield's going up over the 5-year average. Percent return, which is when you take 1 and divide it by the PE ratio, you're looking at about an 8.11% return, which is great. The debt to equity ratio, that's the only thing that was a little high. It was coming in at 1.26. So I spoke in the past that I wanted to maybe alter my calculator to weigh that a little bit more. So I would add a constant in front of that calculation, maybe like a multiple of 10, so that it has more weight in the calculation. 1.26, it's kind of high. So that would be the only thing I'd have to worry about is the debt to equity. And then the current ratio, which I want above a 1.5, was a 2.31. So if it's not a value trap, which I'm not sure if it is because of the debt to equity ratio, then everything else is looking great. So then I went in, since it floated to the top, I started looking at the books. So I'm coming to Yahoo Finance. You type MPW and then come down to financials. And the first thing I like to look at is the cash flow statement. And if you look year over year, it's constantly going up significantly. So this company's doing great. Total cash flow from operating activities, consistently going up. That's exactly what you want to see. Total cash flows from investing activities, consistently investing. The one thing I was looking at here is the sale purchase of stock. So it looks like they're selling stock, which I don't know if that's because the company's growing or why they're selling stocks, but they're not buying them back. So if this was going to be a perfect cash flow, you'd want to see them buying their stock back, not selling it. But that could just be because they're growing. Looking at the balance sheet, their total assets sitting at $6.5 billion, and their liabilities were only 3.1. And if you look up, if you pull up MSN Money and you type in MPW and then go to analysis, looking at the debt to equity ratio, the industry-wide is an average of 1.14, and this one's 1.49. So it's a little bit more than the industry average, but if you're looking at the industry as a whole, it's generally above 0.5 anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. So I think MPW is going to be my next purchase. It just looks too good. But again, I'm going to wait for the 2017 books before I buy. Because who knows? Just like GameStop, just like eBay, when the earnings call comes out, the price might drop, and it would be a good time to enter. So that's MPW. Take a look at it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you spot something that tells you that this is a value trap, but I haven't found anything yet. I'll do more digging, and if I find anything, I'll definitely share it. All right, so let's get into the goals. All right, 200 invested. Yes. I'm going to talk about that real quick. I think I want to watch the market, and before I start investing again, other than MPW and Corning, I think I'm going to watch to see where the bottom is. So basically, I want to see 2 weeks in a row where the market's increased. I'll put 200 aside, but I'm going to keep it just liquid. So each week I'm still going to do 200, but I'm just going to hold off on investing until I see what's happening to the market. I don't think it's crashing. I think this is a dip, so I am going to dip by Corning. But other than that, I think I might just start holding off just to see where things settle. But as far as Corning and MPW, seeing I've already researched these companies, I know where my buy price is, and regardless of where the market is, if that stock price is where I want to buy, then I'm going to buy it. But as far as anything else goes, I'm just going to sort of sit back and just see what happens to the overall stock market. Sober, yes. And I said I would share another strategy for not drinking. One strategy, it's going to sound really, really obvious and stupid, but just stay away from areas that you typically drink at. So like if your friends say, oh, come on, it's been a rough week, let's just go out to the local watering hole and you can have a soda. Well, that sounds like a good idea. So you'll convince yourself that that's fine and just go out, you'll just have a soda. And then when you get there and you're surrounded by your buddies and you've got that pressure, you're just going to get a beer and you're going to start drinking, and then you're completely off the wagon. You're going to pick up a 12-pack on your way home. And so the one thing I'm doing, I'm just staying away from the venues that I always drank at. So I'm just staying out of the bar. I think eventually at some point down the road, I'll be able to go out and just get that soda, but I know that I'm not there yet. Like, I know that I would get a beer and then I would get another beer, and it's not worth it. Like, I'm doing really good. I'm putting a lot of money away. The portfolio is larger than I thought it would be. I'm way ahead on my goals. So to throw all that away just to go out for a soda, it doesn't seem worth it. But who knows? Maybe in like a couple months I'll be able to go and just grab like a soda and have fun. But I'm not there yet, so I'm not going to risk it. So that's my other strategy. And it's like a really obvious one, but it's just something else I'm doing. And I've had the month of January sober, so it was 1 month, and that's a lot longer than I've had in a long time. So I'm just going to keep sharing what I'm doing, and hopefully if you're out there and you're listening and you're struggling with sobriety, then you can maybe just pick up at maybe one thing and try it. And if you're out there and you're drinking and you don't know if you're an alcoholic or you think you might be, the easiest way to test is just go 2 weeks without drinking. If you do and it was like nothing, like you didn't even think about it, then you're not an alcoholic. If you fail and you can't get 2 weeks, you're probably an alcoholic. And if you make it 2 weeks, but you had to use every single little thread of willpower just to get through that 2 weeks, then you're probably an alcoholic. And it's really hard to admit, but once you can stop lying to yourself, you can start improving yourself. So it's that easy. And I'm not on a soapbox preaching or anything. It's a shitty place to be. And I know people want out, and it's really hard to get out. But it's possible, and I'm trying to prove to you that it's possible and show you that it's possible, and that's one of my goals. So good luck. It's hard. Leave a comment if you're struggling, or if you have any questions, or just send me a message. All right. Did I lose 6 pounds? I certainly did, and I'm very happy. I'll show you. So last week I was at 228.4, and this week I'm at 227. So I shattered that plateau. I don't know. It must have been because of the exercise. So I did the swimming. The swimming was fun. There were too many kids in the pool, though. Kids are annoying because they have no self-awareness. But other than that, I booked it up and down and did like a complete lap, and I was completely winded, which was an eye-opener for me because from the ages of like 1 to 18, I swam constantly. I was always swimming. Whenever there was a pool, I was in the pool swimming, and never got tired. I'd go from swimming to jumping on a trampoline to playing basketball, back to swimming, and swimming never tired me out. And I did one lap, and my wife was like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, I'm just trying to catch my breath. my heart was beating out of my chest, and it went to show how absolutely out of shape I was in, or how out of shape I am. So we're swimming again this weekend, tomorrow, and I'm going to keep swimming every week. And the other thing I've been doing is when I get up before the bell rings for the opening of the markets, I just started doing some push-ups and sit-ups, just waiting for the bell to ring. But yeah, so I lost 1.4 pounds. So my target for fiscal week 5 was 233.6. I'm at 228.4. So this goal is going way better than I thought it would. So yeah, lose 0.6, yes. And then subscribers, I got one. I finally got a subscriber. I want to give you a huge shout out. I won't say your name because you've got your settings listed so that your subscriptions are private. It popped up as like a notification, so I saw your screen name, but I won't share in case you're trying to keep your account private. But I just want to say thank you very much. You know who you are. You're my one subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. Tell your friends. Tell anybody you know, anybody with an addiction or anybody that wants to start investing. I know it's kind of a weird vlog because I'm touching on completely different subject matters, but it is what it is, and I'm so happy you subscribed. And I told my wife, and she didn't seem very impressed, but whatever. I got one. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you, and to anybody else that's watching, thank you very much, and leave a comment or subscribe so I know. And as always, stay profitable, stay sober, and stay safe in the market because it looks like it's doing some pretty weird things right now. So keep an eye open. And see you guys later.